Hello, welcome to iEdit from Ince, a fast, secure, superior way to supply, amend and perfect your documents. To get started, open up your internet. The best browser to use is Internet Explorer. You should have nothing older than Office 2010 and then you're good to go. We'll always be on hand to talk you through any teething problems you may have. The first thing to do is email us your files. We'll send you a link for your project and a username and password. Click on the link and the sign-in page will open. Put in your username and password, which you'll use every time you are asked for these details. To avoid having to provide this information each time you log in, you can check the Keep Me Signed inbox, but we only recommend that you do that if no one else has access to your computer.
We will have loaded the files you sent us via email into your input files. You will have given us a list of users approved for access to each of the files, and those permissions will also be loaded. Permissions can be unique for each user or group of users.
Open your document by clicking on it, and a pop-up box will appear. Just click OK, and you're ready to make any changes you need. Once we've put your files into the input area, our designers and taggers will get to work changing your Word and Excel documents to communicate with the design you've chosen.
Those design files live in the Output Files area, and if you need to, you can annotate design changes right there in Acrobat, but we'll talk about that later. All the text changes you make in the input files will be pulled through automatically into the output files.
Let's have a look at your input files. To get into a file to edit, click on the file name. Depending on which version of Office you have, a pop-up box might ask if you want to open or edit. When we loaded your files into this area, we cleaned up the Word file so it would speak to the design, and we also tagged all of the copy. To edit the document, click on Edit Document.
Switch on your invisibles by clicking the hard return icon here. This will reveal the formatting information. When you click on a paragraph, you can see each tagged area. This area is text X38, and you can see that it's surrounded by a border. This little icon here shows that this is a hard return. In other words, the end of this particular tag. Each piece of tagged text is given a name, like this one here, and it also has a hard return.
Now you're ready to start editing your copy. You can add, change or delete words, phrases or sentences inside a tag. You can use all the usual attributes, bold, italics, underline and so on, and those will be pulled through to the output document.
You can't add a new paragraph to text that's already tagged. If you want a new paragraph, you need to put your cursor at the end of the tag before the hard return icon and click the right arrow key on your keyboard and hit Enter or Return. This will take you out of the tag or deselect the tag. Now you can add your new paragraph. To make it easier for our tagging team, you can highlight it yellow so that they can easily find the additional information and give it its own tag. This paragraph won't appear in the output file until we've tagged it. If you want to move an entire paragraph from one place to another, select the paragraph, including the hard return, and cut. Move the cursor to where you want it to go, and then paste. Once again, you can highlight the paragraph in yellow to draw it to the tagger's attention. You can go to Review and add a comment, like Paragraph Moved. You can delete entire tags, but to make it easier for the taggers to locate and untag the paragraph, you can simply highlight the paragraph in red.
You edit tables in exactly the same way as you edit in Word, and you can add whatever attributes you want. But when going from one column to the other, it's best to tab, as you'll then hit the tag exactly. Several people can be working on a Word file at the same time, but just not on the same tag. If someone's already working on the tag, it'll be locked, and there'll be an indication of who's working on the tag. Permitted users can make track changes, but only one person in your team, designated by you, can approve or decline the changes, and the changes will only be made in the output file when the custodian accepts them. It's very easy to edit Excel files while making sure all your calculations, formulas and links between spreadsheets remain accurate. The Excel files you send us should be in .xlsx format. There are some important differences when working with Excel files. The first is that only one person can work in a file at a time, unlike with Word. So for that reason, it's best not to make each sheet too large, especially if time is tight and there is a lot of information to be edited. Rather break your spreadsheet up into different files. That means different teams will be able to access their information and not have to wait. To edit, click Edit Workbook.
In Excel, a tag is the whole of each individual cell. It's also important not to include any hidden rows or columns that you have used for calculations. If you still need the information on your input file, then move it off the printable area. Otherwise, whatever is hidden will reappear once tagged.
You'll also need to break the link between your database and the Excel files. You can re-establish the link if you need to, but we need the link to be broken when we work on your Excel files. Each cell on an Excel sheet has its own tag. When you click on the cell, you will see the tag name appear in this box. This tells you that your spreadsheet has been tagged. All the information in the cell can be overwritten, and any attributes used. If you need to copy and paste information from a different source into a tagged cell, you can do that, and the calculations will automatically update.
If you want to create a new row or column, right-click on the row below and select Insert. You can highlight it in yellow to make it easier for us to see that there's additional material. The information you add will automatically be included in your calculations and will reflect on the output file. If you need to delete information, simply use the Delete key on your keyboard to delete the information, and the calculation will automatically be updated. To help us quickly find the deleted information, highlight the row in red and we will remove it, while removing that space in the document.
When naming your Excel sheets, please don't use hyphens or ampersands. The changes you make to the text are tagged and pulled through to your laid out document.
Your developing document lives in the Output Files area and will be whatever format you've specified: PDF for documents that will be printed, TXT for submissions to SENS, HTML for your full HTML website, and so on. The changes made are reflected in all outputs. Our taggers implement the changes to the content, but the design changes, that is, cosmetic changes, are still communicated in the traditional way. You can mark the changes on Acrobat or any other annotation tool that outputs to PDF, or print out the document, indicate the changes, and email them to your allocated Client Services Manager. The platform supports blacklining. This is a version of the output file with markups of any changes made. Should you require a blackline proof or cumulative blackline proof, please contact your Client Services Manager, who will be able to provide you with this.
iEdit provides a secure, fast, paperless and hassle-free way for you to mold the document you want, be in control of the content, and make sure that everyone is always on the same page.